Here we are, dear ones, as winter turns to spring, when old strong stories intersect and meet and merge and have their way with us. In these days of turning, it's especially important to remember how the stories intermingle and expand to meet our needs. Too many Christians forget that Jesus was a Jew. Too many Jews forget that the love at the heart of what he taught is also at the heart of Judaism and of every true religion. And yet every story lives on, true to itself, to enrich our lives. In this time of turning, we revisit the taproots of our heritage. We who would follow Jesus but never worship him, embrace his story that we might once again take up the ministry he himself inherited and to which he gave new life. Likewise, we give new life, new depth, new wings to his work. Each year in the midst of Holy Week, we gather on Thursday evening that we might recall and commit ourselves again to the ministry of one who died as an individual and rose again as a community. Called Maundy Thursday, the name is derived from the Latin mandatum, mandate, Maundy. For that long ago evening, Jesus offered them a new commandment, saying, "A new commandment I give unto you, that you shall love one another. As I have loved you, you shall love one another." Jesus arrived in Jerusalem in time to celebrate the Passover. What we call the Last Supper was in fact a Seder, a time-honored ritual meal at which the story of the Exodus is told. Remember, we are told, that you were slaves in Egypt. And so each year we gather here in the Ames Chapel in our upper room, as Jesus gathered his disciples in the upper room of the house of a friend in Jerusalem. We tell the story, and a powerful story it is. It was at that Last Supper Jesus took off his robe, wrapped a towel around himself, knelt down and began to wash their feet. They were shocked. And here in our own upper room each year we do the same for one another, taking up his ministry as we wash away the road dust from the feet of our companions in that most embodied, most tender religious ritual. And then, as he taught us on that night so long ago, and only yesterday, we break bread and drink of the fruit of the vine and lament how far we have fallen short of all the best we hoped for ourselves and for the world. And then we sing, Jesus walked this lonesome valley. He had to walk it for himself, for nobody else could walk it for him. He had to walk it by himself. It was that same night Jesus said that one among them would betray him, and Judas stole away from the table. Oh, it was a night to remember. When the meal had ended, they retired to a garden called Gethsemane, outside the city walls and partway up the Mount of Olives. Knowing well what was to come, Jesus stayed awake all night, but the disciples were exhausted and could not keep watch with him. The service ends, and we depart in silence, step by step, remembering we stand on holy ground. Oh, I wish we could be here together. And in a spiritual sense, I know that we are, washing each other's feet, singing together, holding each other's hands, hoping each other's hopes, praying together for a world more fair, more just, for a ministry which calls to our hearts and our minds and our hands, a ministry which continues to this day as we give it new life.